So good morning, students. And today we will be continuing with the chapter life process, which we were discussing yesterday also. And yesterday we started with the heterotrophic nutrition. And in heterotrophic nutrition, we have already discussed about the nutrition process or the process of the nutrition in amoeba. And today we will be discussing the process of the nutrition in the human being. But before starting of today's class, let me ask you about yesterday's class so that I will get an idea how much you have incorporated. Can anyone briefly discuss the process of the nutrition in amoeba? You will raise your hand. Briefly discuss the process of nutrition in amoeba. The picture is here only. The picture is here only on your screen. You can take the help of this image also while explaining the process. Yes, raise your hand. Those who wants to. Okay, Romita, you can unmute yourself, Romita. Yes, Ramita, you can unmute yourself. Just briefly discuss that how does the amoeba takes in the food material and do perform the process of the nutrition in
by the process of endocytosis.
Okay, very good. Endocytosis. Okay. More. Go ahead with further explanation, Ramita. Go ahead with further explanation.
Sir, it engulfs the food by producing its false feet.
Okay. Very correct. Yes, by the production, or we can say extending the false feed pseudopodia, it engulfs the food material, keeps the food material within the food vacuole, and the digestive enzyme present in the food vacuole engulfs the food material or digests the food material, and the undigested material is given out of the body. Definitely correct. Yes, this is the process of the nutrition in case of amoeba. And now, student, we will be starting with the process of the nutrition in case of the human being. This is very, very important part. And also in the board examination, the diagram of the human alimentary canal is also very significant. Now, students, first of all, whenever we are going to discuss the process of the nutrition in the human being, we have to first know about its different parts. We have to first know about its different parts, that what are the part of the human alimentary canal. Now here students, you can see the image. Here you can see the image and one human alimentary canal. This term you are saying human alimentary canal. Remember, student, human alimentary canal means a long tube extending from the mouth to anus. How it is present, and see the human alimentary canal. Here is the opening, or we can say here is the beginning. First of all, alimentary canal is a long tube. It has two openings. One opening is the mouth and the other opening is the anus. And this whole portion right from the mouth till the anus, that is the alimentary canal only, but its dimension, or we can say the thickness, varies. Okay, for example, it is broader in the stomach than in the small intestine also, but it is a single tube extending from, or we can say the first opening is the mouth and the next opening is the anus. Be careful with the spelling of alimentary canal, students. Sometimes by mistake you also write ELI, elementary. So it is not like that. It is an alimentary canal. So it is a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. Okay. So you can see very well here, student, in the diagram that the alimentary canal is a long tube extending from the mouth to the anus. And now students, see, first of all, we have to discuss the process of the nutrition in the human being. Okay, the process of the nutrition in the human being. For that, let me write the name of the steps also. The process of the nutrition in the human being is divided into 5 steps. Okay, is divided into 5 steps. What are these steps that I'm going to discuss now? The process of the nutrition in the human being is divided into the following steps. What are those steps? There are actually 5 steps. The first step is ingestion. Okay. Next, the second step is digestion. Then the third step is absorption. No need to write, student, now. Okay, first we will be discussing each and every aspect, and then also we'll be doing this. Now, fourth is assimilation, and fifth step is egestion. Okay, these are the 4 steps of the nutrition in case of the human being. Remember, these 5 steps you have to remember, and remember, student, one by one in sequence we will go on discussing what is ingestion, what is digestion, what is absorption, what is assimilation, and finally what is egestion. Now, these 5 steps occur sequentially, out of which, student, the major one is the digestion, where we have to discuss a lot on this portion. Now, first of all, students, if we are saying that, okay, let me ask you a few questions. Okay, for this, Muskan, unmute yourself. Yes, Muskan, unmute yourself. I would like to interact with the students. Muskan, tell me, if we are going to start, or if we are going to discuss the process of the nutrition in case of the human being, the first thing during the process of the nutrition, what we do? The first thing, if we want to have, first thing what we will do for taking any food? What do you think?
Sir, first we use our hands to take the food in our mouth.
Okay, very good, very good. Well said, Muskan, very good. Correct. That is the first step, is that we, with the help of the hand, we will take in the food. Okay. What is the first step? This is only the first step of the process of the nutrition in the human being. That is ingestion. What is ingestion? The process of taking the food in the mouth with the help of the hand is definitely the ingestion. So it is a very simple process. Why? In the sense that it is simply taking in of the food into the mouth. Now, students, after the food goes into the mouth, what is the role of the teeth in the mouth? What is the role of the teeth in the mouth? For this, raise your hand, those who want to participate actively. And then I will ask the question also randomly. Okay, again, Muskan. Okay, Muskan, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
What is the use of the teeth in our mouth? Yes, go ahead, Muskan.
Teeth help in chewing the food.
Teeth help in chewing the food. Okay, okay, Muskan, correct. And one thing I would like to ask here, student, chewing the food. If we are talking in technical terms, chewing the food, what does this mean if we are chewing the food? Now we are going to the technical terms. If we are chewing the food, what does this mean? If we are chewing the food, what does this mean? Yes, anyone? Okay. Through the chat box. Okay, Priyanshu, very correct. Yes. Priyanshu said that chewing the food is breaking food into simpler substance. And why why we are breaking the food into simpler substances? For their easy digestion. So definitely, student, the teeth brings about the physical digestion of the food. Physical digestion means converting the food, that is a large particle of the food, into the smaller one. Okay, into the smaller one. So what is ingestion? Ingestion is a process by which we take in the food into the mouth, and the teeth present in the mouth brings about the physical digestion of the food. It brings about the physical digestion of the food. Okay, now students, we will come to the next step of the process of the nutrition in case of the human being, and that is the digestion, the second step. Now we will be going to the second step of the nutrition. Now, whenever students we will study about digestion, we have to study digestion under three headings, or we can say digestion can be studied under three parts. What are the parts? The first is digestion we have to study under three parts. And what are those? The first is we have to study the digestion under the heading mouth. Then we have to study the process of the digestion in stomach. And then we have to study the process of the digestion in small intestine. Small intestine. So mouth, stomach, and the small intestine. And that is why we said the digestion is a vast area, because the process of the digestion we have to study under the three subheadings, that is mouth, stomach, and the small intestine. Is it clear to all? Till this is clear to each and every students? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Now, whenever we are talking to these students, whenever in mouth, just 1 minute. In mouth, the food definitely is chewed with the help of the teeth and the muscular tongue. And in mouth, we have a very important gland which is called salivary gland, and this salivary gland secretes saliva. The saliva contains a very important enzyme called salivary amylase that breaks the starch into simple sugar. So the first step of the digestion starts in the mouth. And what happens in the mouth? In the mouth, we have the salivary gland, and this salivary gland secretes saliva. The saliva contains a very important enzyme, that is a salivary amylase, which breaks the starch into simple sugar. So we can say the starch digestion begins in mouth. Okay. Now always remember, student, this amylase is a group of the enzyme which will digest or break the starch. For example, here you have studied, or you will be coming to know about salivary amylase. We have one more type of amylase later on as per our syllabus is concerned. So this is the amylase is the group of the, or we can say these are the enzymes which act on the starch. Okay. Till this is clear to all. So the digestion of the food in mouth is done. So once again, I'm telling you what happens in mouth. In mouth, the teeth brings about the physical digestion of the food. The food mixes with the saliva. Saliva is secreted by salivary gland, and that contains a very important enzyme called salivary amylase, which breaks the starch present in the food. Is it clear to all till this? If you do you have any doubts? Do any one of you have doubt till this? Do any one of you have doubt till this? Okay. Okay. Okay, very good. Yes. Maximum of you have said no. Okay, Arushi. Arushi asks to repeat once again. Okay, I'm repeating once again, no problem. Yes, Arushi, we said that the process of the nutrition in the human being is divided altogether in 5 steps. The name of the 5 steps, definitely, the first one is ingestion, then digestion, then absorption, then assimilation, and finally egestion. We discussed the process of the ingestion, that is simply taking in of the food into the mouth. Then we started with digestion. Digestion can be studied under 3 parts: mouth, stomach, and the small intestine. And in mouth, we have salivary gland, which secretes saliva. This saliva contains the enzyme salivary amylase, which breaks the starch present in the food. Yes, Arushi, I think due to network issue, you joined later. Now is it clear to all, to you? Yes, Arushi, now it is clear to you? Okay, fine, Arushi. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So let me, step by step, let me interact with you all so that altogether the 5 steps could, you could mix it up. So one by one. Now, Tanvi, tell me, what do you mean by ingestion? We just discussed now. Tanvi, you can unmute yourself. What do you mean by ingestion? What do you mean by ingestion, Tanvi?
Sir, taking food in mouth with the help of hands.
Okay, that is called ingestion. Okay, Tanvi, very good. And okay, after this, I will interact with. Yes, Priyanshu, unmute yourself. What is digestion, Priyanshu? Priyanshu,
Sir,
what is
the process by yes, sir. Sir,
Yes, go
the
ahead.
process by which the food is break down into complex substance with the help of teeth and tongue.
Food is broken down into complex substance, or complex is broken into simple?
Sir, complex food is broken into simpler
Yes,
substance.
yes. Okay. Very good. Complex foods material will be broken down into the simple absorbable form. Okay, well said, Priyanshu. Very good. And now, students, regarding digestion, we have discussed the process of the digestion in mouth. Anyone who can share with me what we discussed about the process of the digestion in mouth? Step by step, I will interact with you all so that the concept will be more clear to you. The process of the digestion in mouth. We did mouth, and now we will move to the stomach. So tell me, anyone? For this, yes. Riya Bharti, unmute yourself. Yes, Riya, unmute yourself. Yes, Riya, go ahead. What did we discuss about the process of the digestion in case of mouth?
So first we intake the food.
Okay.
So sorry, the digestion of food begins in mouth. Then the teeth cut the food into small pieces.
Okay.
And then in our mouth, a salivary gland present in our mouth, which secretes saliva, which digests the starch in sugar.
Okay, very good. Which digest definitely the starch into sugar. Okay, very good. Well said, Riya. Very good. And now, student, the second part of the digestion, that is in mouth, we have done, and now we will see how the food enters into the stomach. Now, students, first of all, before discussing the digestion of the food in stomach, a very important part need to be discussed, and a very important process need to be discussed over here. Student, in this diagram, you can clearly see this part is the mouth and this part is our stomach. But in between the mouth and the stomach, a very important tube is there. And the name of this tube is esophagus, or the food pipe. Now, this food pipe, actually, on the wall of this food pipe, there is a special muscle. The name of the muscle is, just let me write the name. The name of this muscle is the sphincter muscle. Let me drag this. The name of this muscle is sphincter. Sphincter muscle. And what is the peculiar feature of the sphincter muscle? It has the property of expansion, contraction. Expansion, contraction. Now, suppose students, you are eating any food, okay? And this food pipe, when you're taking the food pipe get expand. Again, when this food goes into the lower portion, the previous portion go back to its normal shape, and the next portion is swelled up. How I'm showing you this also with the help of the diagram, or with the help of an created image. I'm showing you this. If suppose student, this is the 1 minute. Yes. If suppose this is our food pipe, okay. So peristalsis means like this: expansion, then contraction, expansion, then contraction. Again, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. This is the expansion and this is the contraction. Got it, student? That is why the food very easily reaches to our stomach. And this expansion and contraction of the food pipe regularly is known as the peristalsis, or the peristaltic movement. This expansion and the contraction is called peristalsis or peristaltic movement. So we will be saying over here that the lining of the alimentary canal is soft for smooth passage of the food. The muscles in the lining contract rhythmically to push the food forward. It is called peristalsis. It helps to process the food properly in each part. From the mouth, the food is moved through the food pipe or esophagus and reaches the stomach, which is a large organ, expands when the food enters. Its muscular wall help in mixing the food thoroughly with the digestive enzyme. The digestion of the food in the stomach is our next topic of discussion, but this is the peristalsis. Students, regarding the esophagus spelling, somewhere you will find it as ESO and somewhere you will find it as OESO. Both are correct. So don't confuse with this. Both the spellings are correct, and this is called peristalsis or peristaltic movement. Is it clear to all? Is it clear to all the students? Okay, is it clear to all the students? Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, then quickly raise your hand, and who can discuss with me the process of the peristalsis or the peristaltic movement. Quickly raise your hand so that I can unmute you, what we have discussed now and what I have told you now. Who can give me the feedback for this? Quickly raise your hand. Who can say me what is the peristalsis or the peristaltic movement? Okay. Okay, Muskan. Okay. You can unmute yourself, Muskan.
Yes, sir.
Muskan, just briefly discuss what is peristalsis, which we discussed just now.
Yes, sir.
which we discussed just now, Muskan, peristalsis. What is this? Did you got me, Muskan? Just now we discussed about peristalsis. Can you recall? Okay. Okay, no problem. Yes, Priyanshu. Priyanshu, unmute yourself, Priyanshu.
Yes, sir.
Priyanshu, what is peristalsis? Just now we have discussed how the food from the mouth enters into the stomach.
Yes, sir. Sir, peristalsis is a rhythmically contraction and expansion of the food pipe to help food properly reach in each part of the
Very
stomach.
good. Very good. Well said, Priyanshu. That is a rhythmic contraction and expansion of the food pipe, which allow the food material for its easy passage into the stomach. Very well. Good, sir. Well said. Very good. Okay. Okay, well said. Now, students, we are coming to the process of the nutrition or the food digestion in the stomach. Now, students, our stomach has a very special gland, which is called gastric gland. And this gastric gland secretes three important materials. What are these materials? HCl, pepsin, and mucus. One by one, we have to study their functions. First of all, the function of HCl or hydrochloric acid. The HCl actually creates an acidic medium. Remember, student, pepsin, as we said that the stomach wall has a gastric gland, and this gastric gland secretes three important materials: HCl, pepsin, and mucus. Now, pepsin is an enzyme, and you must previously also we have studied, the student, that the enzyme work at the different pH. This pepsin requires acidic pH, and who will provide the acidic pH to pepsin? It is the HCl that provide acidic pH to the pepsin for its action. And what is the role of the pepsin? The pepsin is a protein digesting enzyme. Remember, student, ending with this word IN, these groups are the protein digesting enzymes. So protein digestion begins in stomach, but in stomach, the third secretion of the gastric gland is mucus. And what is the function of this mucus? To our surprise, this HCl is an acid which provides acidic medium for the enzyme pepsin, and also it destroys any harmful bacteria if that entered into the food. But HCl being acid, it can damage the stomach wall also. So who will protect the stomach wall? It is a mucus, which is a jelly-like fluid. It protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the HCl. And sometimes this HCl act on the wall, causing the burning sensation. This is called acidity. For example, during the empty stomach, when the mucus is, for example, when we are in empty stomach, the HCl is not getting any food for its action. And so at that time, what happened? This HCl start working or start acting on the stomach only. And as a result, we have an acidity or the burning sensation. So this is all about the process of the digestion in case of the stomach. Once again, the stomach has the gastric glands, and these gastric glands has the three important secretion. And what are these secretions? The HCl, pepsin, and the mucus. The HCl will definitely creates an acidic medium for the action of the pepsin. Also, it destroys the harmful bacteria. On the other hand, pepsin is a protein digesting enzyme. Pepsin is digesting the protein, and the mucus protect the stomach wall from the action of HCl. Did you got it, student? This so still, students, we are with the second step of the nutrition in the human being only. We have not gone further. We are with the second step of the nutrition only. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to all the students till this? Through the chat box, you can give me the reply. Okay, yes, I got the feedback. Now, it is an open-end session now. Now you can tell me, student, who wants to discuss the process of the digestion in stomach only. In stomach, who wants to discuss the process of the digestion? Quickly raise your hand, or then randomly I will select from the students. Okay. Okay. This time, Ria. Ria, unmute yourself, Ria.
Yes, sir.
Ria, just briefly discuss how the digestion occurs in stomach.
So the stomach wall contains gastric glands which secretes gastric juices. The gastric juices contains three substances: HCl, pepsin, and the mucus.
Correct. Then go ahead. What
The
are their
HCl
roles?
creates an acidic medium.
Good. Yes. HCl creates an acidic medium for, I think you got muted
To
again.
kill
Yes. Correct. Yes. To kill or the harmful bacteria. Okay. Okay, Ria, you can mute yourself. Let me pass the next part of this question to Romita. Romita, what is the role of pepsin? You can unmute yourself, Romita. What is the role of pepsin? Yes. Romita, you can unmute yourself. Just a moment. I think Romita got disconnected. Okay, Priyanshu, you can answer. What is the role of, yes, Priyanshu, what is the role of the pepsin?
Pepsin Pepsin helps in the protein digestion of enzymes, which is facilitated by hydrochloric acid.
Very good. Well said. You have added one more thing over here, that is facilitated by the hydrochloric acid. Well said, Priyanshu. Very good. Some point should be coming from the student point. It is highly appreciated. Very good, Priyanshu. And now the next question. Yes. Next question. Just a moment. Let me select the students. Yes, Vivek. Vivek, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Vivek, can you tell me the function of the mucus? The function of mucus, Vivek? What is the function of mucus? Okay, Vivek, unmute yourself. You got again muted. Function of
Yes, sir.
mucus.
The mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid.
Okay. Okay. Well, Vivek, very good. So, students, till today, we will be today's class. Up to this, we will be continuing, and in our next class, we will be doing the process of the digestion. Will be continued in the small intestine. And today's assignment for you all, definitely you will practice the diagram of human alimentary canal, which is present in your NCERT textbook. Also, this diagram, which I am highlighting over here, this diagram is present in your NCERT textbook. This you will be doing today as a practice work for the today. Okay.